I hate WWF No Mercy for the N64. What's up guys, Acer Thorn here, and today I'd like to take us back to the past. No Mercy for the N64 is touted as the best wrestling game of all time. Many people say that it still holds up to the present day, and I personally can't stand it. No Mercy was one of the first Let's Plays I ever did on this channel, all the way back in 2018. I played it blind, with no nostalgia, so that I could decide for myself if this really was the best wrestling game ever made, and if it really did still hold up in the present day. I spent a good 13 episodes on that Let's Play, and I ultimately rage quit and determined that no, it was not the best wrestling game ever made. In fact, I actually quite hated it. Before I get into all the negative, I do want to emphasize what I do feel works about this game. Namely, the branching storylines that change depending on whether you win or lose, or whether you accept or reject somebody else's help. That is a great idea, one that I really wish would make a return in the modern day. Of course, that would require extra creative effort, and heaven forbid 2K actually do any of that. I mean, it's not even just laziness anymore. I'm not saying that 2K is just being lazy for their refusal to put in any more creativity. I'm just saying that all that extra creativity would obviously cost a lot of money. Games are much more expensive to develop nowadays than they were back when this game first came out, which was either 1999 or 2000. I can't remember exactly which one. Anyway, I definitely love the branching storylines. However, that is where my praise of this game begins and ends. The first major problem that I have with this game is the way the countering system is set up. It's basically only some moves are meant to be countered and some moves are meant to be blocked. It's rare that you actually get a move, and bear in mind, first of all, it's been years since I played this game, and I'm not going back to it. So forgive me if I make a few inaccurate statements about what exactly the countering system is like in this game, because fuck you, it doesn't really matter, this game can still suck my ass. So anyway, my understanding is that it's rare to have a move that can be either blocked or countered, so you have to basically just magically know in advance what the opponent is going to do. This is a problem that has made a comeback with WWE 2K22, and I fucking hate it. Whenever they go for a tie-up, more on that later, you have to basically know to press either the X, A, or B buttons based on whatever they're about to do. Which is, unless you're fucking psychic, how the hell are you supposed to know that? But let's say for a minute that you kinda do sorta predict what they're about to do, and so you press the counter button. I cannot count the number of times, even in that short-ass Let's Play, that I actually pressed the counter button, and I swear I got the timing down, only for the game to just ignore my input. And then there's the collar and elbow tie-up itself. SmackDown Here Comes the Pain had this problem, WWE 2K22 also had this problem, and I just categorically despise this mechanic in wrestling games. You should not have to do a collar and elbow tie-up just to do a grapple move. If you want to just do a suplex or a DDT, you should be able to just do the suplex or the DDT. No, if I have to do a tie-up every single time I want to do a move, that just slows the match down. In real-life wrestling, sometimes they will do that collar and elbow tie-up at the beginning of the match. It's called chain wrestling. And if the storyline calls for it, if the story isn't just, let's just go in, fists flying, and just beat the hell out of each other, unless it's that kind of a story being told, wrestlers will often start the match with some chain wrestling. But that's only the start of the match. In the games, when you have to do a collar and elbow tie-up every single time you want to do any kind of move that isn't a strike, it just slows the pacing of the match down to a crawl, and I can't stand that mechanic. Now, I understand that there are people out there who enjoy these mechanics. It's ultimately a matter of opinion. But here's one thing that isn't a matter of opinion. One time during my Let's Play, when I was going after the hardcore title, there was a time when I was supposed to defeat Taz within 5 minutes. At one point, I got him to tap out to the Dragon Sleeper, and it was under 5 minutes. And I still lost. Yeah, you were actually supposed to win that match by pinfall, but the game in no way made that clear. Submissions have always been equivalent to pinfalls in wrestling and in wrestling games. So why didn't it just arbitrarily didn't count this time? I mean, the game was able to register me as having won the match for purposes of me doing my victory taunt and playing my victory music. So why couldn't it have acknowledged me as the winner for purposes of advancing the story? I understand the whole countering thing, the whole collar and elbow tie-up thing. I understand that there are a lot of people who prefer that system. I'm not one of them, and I hate No Mercy because of that, but I understand that that's subjective. This is not subjective. This is just the game blatantly not disclosing the victory conditions to you when a reasonable person would have assumed that a submission is just as good as a pinfall. But here's another thing that just drove me up the wall. When I finally had enough of that game, I made one more video. I wrestled a few matches in exhibition mode, just to get B-roll footage for that video. And when I wrestled in exhibition mode, I cleaned house! It was a Goldberg-level squash! And yet, so why was I struggling so much in the championship modes, the story modes, when I had the difficulty in those modes also set to easy? I mean, the game was literally, when I was in the story modes, the game literally just artificially increased the difficulty and made it more difficult to win for no other reason than because LOL. Somebody want to explain to me how that is just my opinion? I mean, I didn't imagine it. I have video footage of me struggling like nobody's business just to win even a single match in the story mode, only for me to defeat my opponents in less than 2 minutes in exhibition mode on the same difficulty. This is not me imagining it. This is literally just the game just having 2 different definitions of easy mode based on what mode you're playing. Fuck that shit. So, no. This is not a case of me just needing to get good. This is a case of the game needing to be consistent with how I'm playing it. So no. I hate WWF No Mercy for the N64. It is an absolute trash game, and it can suck my ass. So with that said, I am Acer Thorn, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.